If you struggle with severe migraines, you probably feel like you're never going to be able to live a completely normal life again, like my client, Nick, who for 10 years was experiencing migraines that were so bad he regularly had to miss work. And the most frustrating part was these migraines had only started in his early 20s, and he couldn't explain how they started or why they were only getting worse. But that's when he came to see me. I'm Ashley Oswald, a Harvard Teaching Hospital trained gut health dietitian and founder of Oswald Digestive Clinic. I've worked with some of the most complicated patients imaginable, and I know how frustrating it can be to feel like your body is working against you. So in this video, I'm going to reveal the unexpected link we discovered between Nick's migraines and his gut, and the exact advice we gave him that finally fixed his migraines, even after numerous medications had never made a difference. This case is based upon a true story with only necessary changes to protect the privacy of my client. So now, let's play a game. What do you think it was? Drop your guess in the comments below, no cheating, and let's get started. Upon meeting Nick, I started by asking about his medical history. Nick had seen a few doctors who ultimately ran out of options. They ran many labs, he tried many medications, and he even had imaging to rule out anything more severe. Then he turned to Dr. Google. Dr. ChatGPT wasn't around at the time, but Dr. Google had some options for him, one of which he jumped on. At the time, intermittent fasting was really popular. His friends were excited about it, so he decided to give it a try. Did it work? No, and it made his migraines worse, which was a clue for me, but more on that later. What I did notice in his medical history was something more insightful. Nick briefly mentioned to me, as if a bit embarrassed, that he partied a lot in his late teens to early 20s. Aha, another clue. So I asked Nick, as a part of this partying, did you drink a lot of alcohol? And he told me yes. Do you know why this matters? Drinking alcohol can deplete the body of micronutrients. Macronutrients are the larger components of food, including carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, while micronutrients are the smaller or more micro vitamins and minerals. Just take a look at this chart from a 2025 research review. As you can see, alcohol abuse can cause magnesium deficiency, and magnesium deficiency is linked to migraines. Other nutrients include B vitamins like thiamine, folate, B6, and minerals like zinc, all of which could contribute to migraines. Further, to pour gasoline on fire, the body also uses up more of these nutrients like magnesium and the B vitamins during chronic stress. I told this to Nick and suggested we run a full micronutrient blood test, including 12 vitamins and 5 minerals. However, Nick's insurance was not willing to cover this full panel, and Nick just did not want to spend the money in cash. So when weighing benefit versus risk, like we always do in medicine, I felt confident recommending a quality magnesium supplement and a comprehensive multivitamin. The body needs 400 milligrams daily to maintain magnesium stores. So we started at 800 milligrams to help with replacement and used a combination magnesium supplement that contained magnesium citrate and magnesium L-threonate. Magnesium L-threonate is ideal for migraines as it crosses the blood-brain barrier more effectively than other forms. But the citrate form, that's the one that will help his gut. Which makes me wonder, how is your gut? Curious what kind of gut you have? Take a free quiz, what type of gut you have, scan the QR code, or check the link in the description. Now, to talk about Nick's gut. Nick was struggling with excessive bloating, constipation, excessive gas, pain, and brain fog. It had been getting worse for years, just like the migraines. Now I know from my training as a dietitian that migraines can be a main symptom of celiac disease, as you can see in this research article here. Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease where eating gluten damages the small intestine, and this can cause a variety of symptoms, including migraines. Gluten is found in wheat, rye, barley, and sometimes oats due to cross-contamination. Nick's other symptoms could very well be caused by gluten sensitivity or wheat intolerance as well, especially the brain fog. This is super common. So I recommended Nick go back to his doctor and ask for celiac disease testing, which typically is covered by insurance if ordered by a doctor. I recommended Nick to do this now before cutting out gluten because to have an accurate lab result, he needs to be eating the equivalent of 2 slices of bread daily for 2 weeks. Then after the testing is done, he can cut out gluten right away. And by cutting out gluten, his intake of fructans will also significantly be reduced, which should help with the excessive gas, bloating, constipation, and pain. Fructans are chains of fructose molecules that humans have a hard time digesting. So they end up in the large intestine and act like a type of fermentable fiber, which for some people can be a great thing. They can produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which are powerful anti-inflammatory molecules to support the healing of the gut lining. But for sensitive people like Nick, who have a sensitive gut, they can cause frustrating symptoms. It is possible that we can improve Nick's gut in the future so that he can tolerate fructans better again, since they are also in healthy foods like onions, garlic, asparagus, and more. But for now, we want Nick to have some relief, so we cut them out. Nick was on board with this plan. And remember that magnesium citrate we added earlier? This was added to help the constipation, which would further help the gas and bloating. So upon follow-up, Nick did not go get celiac disease testing, but he did cut out gluten 80% of the time. Therefore, I made a note in the chart to swing back to celiac disease testing later on, since we can't do it now as Nick isn't eating enough gluten for it to be accurate, and we moved on to the next thing, which is hormones. Today, we're going to focus on 2 hormones, insulin and cortisol. Let's start with insulin. And you really can't talk about insulin without talking about blood sugar. You've probably seen these continuous glucose monitors that have become popular lately. They're popular because they allow people to see in real time how their food is affecting their blood sugar and thus their insulin. And they can then change the foods they eat day to day to make sure their blood sugars stay in a healthy range. And this can prevent a host of diseases, including diabetes. For us, this was important because blood sugar crashes can trigger migraines. Blood sugar crashes are caused by meals without enough protein and healthy fat, too many sugars and refined carbohydrates, and after long gaps between eating. Remember how intermittent fasting made things worse for Nick? That was a clue. Did you catch it? I showed Nick this photo of a balance plate and explained the importance of making a few swaps to the meals he told me he typically eats to look more like the plate on the screen here. 2 big swaps that Nick could make include 1, swapping the juice for non-sugar drinks. I gave him plenty of options. And 2, instead of his morning wheat cereal, I suggested eggs with frozen vegetables, which he was happy to hear. He thought the cereal was healthy. Nick told me that he could do both swaps. Perfect. Next up, cortisol. Cortisol is known as the stress hormone. Its levels can go up with poor sleep, blood sugar swings like we talked about, and chronic stress, of course. And chronic stress is one of the most common migraine triggers people report. Well, Nick loved staying up late, and you want to know what he loved more? A big morning coffee. Oh boy. If there's anything I've learned in my almost 20 years of working in healthcare, it's to never take away someone's coffee unless you have a very good reason for it. Well, this I felt like was a good reason, so I decided to see if Nick agrees. At first, Nick gave me the "why did I hire you" stare, which told me how much I could push. Okay, so ideally you taper down and cut it out, but we have a middle option, which is to stop drinking coffee after 9 a.m. and only have 2 cups a day. Caffeine has a half-life of 3 to 7 hours, and by 4 to 5 half-lives, most of it's gone, but that timeline depends on the person. Everyone's different. Thus, my go-to conservative recommendation is either to A, taper down coffee and cut it out completely for 2 weeks. Take a caffeine holiday. You can try coffee alternatives like the company Ticino sells, and no, this is not sponsored. I've just had clients who like that brand. Or B, limit yourself to 2 cups of coffee each morning and stop drinking it before 9 a.m. Even with that limit, slow metabolizers can still have 30% of the caffeine in their system by 9 p.m. Fast ones, around 6%. That's why really the best option is a caffeine holiday, because better sleep can lower the stress hormone cortisol and decrease inflammation in the body, both of which can improve migraines. But Nick chose option B, which really didn't surprise me. So now, before I tell you a list of other possible root causes to migraines, I bet you're wondering, so far, did this work for Nick or was there anything else? Amazingly, after 10 years of dealing with debilitating migraines, this plan did the trick. Finally, Nick was migraine free. What a life-changing relief. How possibly, you might ask? This is so simple. Yes, it is. And as I always say, the body has an amazing ability to heal when given the right tools and support. And it's so common for us at our clinic to see clients like Nick, who were never properly referred to a dietitian to explore how nutrition could help. I suppose after trying all the expensive testing and fancy medications, it seems too easy that nutrition would work. But it can, and I see it all the time. So what else should you consider if you're dealing with debilitating migraines like Nick? Make sure to rule out actual neurological mechanisms with a doctor. Also, other nutrient deficiencies, hormone fluctuations like during perimenopause or menopause, dental causes including TMJ, medication side effects, environment like flickering lights or chemical exposure, other food triggers such as histamine-rich foods, MSG, tyramine, artificial sweeteners, other gut causes, sinus congestion, pet allergies, structural or muscular causes, sleep apnea, psychological components, and more. I hope this gives you hope that despite feeling like you've hit a dead end, you likely have not. So, if you're wondering whether gut health might be a cause of your migraines, there are some clues that your body is giving already to know if your gut is or is not healthy. One of those clues can be floating stool. So if you're curious to know whether floating stool is healthy or not, then it's your lucky day, because our clinician Marcy made a popular video all about what your stool can reveal about your gut, including whether floating stool is normal or a sign of something deeper. Check it out, and as always, stay curious.